This is a test of the Boundary Park alert system.
Hello and welcome to the Boundary Park alert system with me, Matt Dean. Sat to my right is Andy Halliwell.
I'm trying to think the last time we did it in an in-person podcast was Port Vale at home.
Pack the Park.
Pack the Park, yeah.
From the North Stand.
Yeah, that Push the Boundary were behind.
Yeah.
And we had Ed, didn't we, as the fan guest.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's what, about 4 seasons ago?
Yeah, it was when the North Stand was a separate entity from the rest of the club.
That's true.
And that's why we were in there. Yeah. Bizarre. Well, anyway, so you came up for the Rochdale game today.
I did.
So we thought, let's just do it in my studio.
Yeah.
Straight after the game.
Which is a pleasure, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's lovely, this place, isn't it? It's amazing, isn't it?
Thanks very much. Yeah. We are recording it on video as well, so the fan guest is visible.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on video.
Yeah.
But we still have to find out who he is the traditional way, Andy.
We do. So this is a debutant fan guest, not been on before. So fan guest, when was your first Latics game?
2004, Grimsby at home, 6-0 win.
Celebration Sunday. What a way to start your first game.
I support the best club in the world.
I know.
I thought that as well at the time. And it got even better in 2006-07.
Yeah, we got to playoffs, didn't we? Yeah. And then ever since then. But he's still going, so that's good to hear. Who was your first favourite player, fan guest?
Oh, there's a couple, but Sean Gregan is a standout. Still probably to this day one of my favourite players of all time at Oldham.
Yeah.
100%.
He was a bit of a stalwart, wasn't he?
He was. He was rock solid, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And we were bobbins, weren't we? Under who signed him? He played under Penny, didn't he? For a while, I think. So he was under Penny, or did he come after? No, I think he played under Penny.
I don't know. Paddy's not here.
When was the Ronnie Moore era?
Yeah, before then.
Yeah.
So he was a stalwart, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What is your favourite Latics related memory, fan guest?
Cliche, same as everybody. It's got to be Fulham or Forest away. Either or. Fulham, 100%. Yeah.
Fulham away,
not Fulham.
Not Liverpool at home.
No. Fulham the away day. Liverpool
Fulham.
were brilliant at home. They was all brilliant, but no, Fulham. It was a great day out.
4,000 away fans in London. I had a couple of mates go to that game who were both from London, Tottenham fans, and they turned up and said, I can't believe how many you've brought to this game. That's because we're a proper club.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the thing is with it, I didn't go to the Liverpool game. I was in Ireland. I didn't travel over for whatever reason, but it was the atmosphere at Fulham. The fact that it just never stopped, and there was just this. You know what I mean? It was just special.
I think
there was something special
when we
about
got
it.
in London off the coach, I just remember there was like a boat full of Oldham fans,
Yeah.
like singing, dancing. I thought we took over.
Yeah,
We definitely
it
took
was
over
brilliant.
Fulham that day.
Yeah.
It was a good day out. And can you tell us a little unknown fact about yourself?
Didn't really think about this one.
Can I just, before you do, have a thing?
Yeah.
Because this has been bugging me for a while. Shouldn't it be a little known fact about yourself? A little unknown fact about yourself is just like a little. Is that right?
Well, if it's a little known fact,
A little known fact about yourself.
but if it's a little known fact,
Yeah.
then people know about it. This is the little unknown fact that people don't know
It's
about.
only a little. But you don't want a big unknown fact.
Well, he can give me a big one if he wants, but
But it shouldn't really be. I'm sure it should be a little. Shouldn't it be an unknown fact about yourself? Something that nobody knows.
yeah, it should be an unknown fact. But I'm
But
saying
only a little one.
I'm saying
Don't reveal anything that's really serious because we don't want to be held accountable
correct.
and liable.
I don't want the police knocking on the door now.
Okay, so with that extra instruction there and that clarity, proceed, please.
You know what? I've done all sorts, but the only thing I can think of, and I didn't even get on it, doesn't set me up well for Laticsmind either, but I had auditions for the Chase.
Oh, yeah.
So I went down to Manchester to where they're filming. They got down to like the last, I think it was 1,000, down to the last 10, and it were between me and a girl. I'll always remember she was called Clarissa. She ended up getting it. She could play clarinet, more interesting than me. So she ended up getting on, but it was a good day out. So yeah, That's
good.
It's
good
something
story,
different. Yeah, something different.
Yeah,
Great story,
yeah. So
Definitely.
close. Did that inspire you to try and get on to more TV? Are you going to try again?
Well, they said to me if I apply within the next 10 to 15 years, I get like a buy straight through.
All right.
So if I want to go on Tipping Point, but I'm not doing it. I was young back then. I don't know why I did it. I just thought, sod it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, why not? Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, now you've landed at bigger and better things. You're on the Boundary Park alert system. So.
And can you reveal to everyone your name? Who are you?
It is Curtis Dockeray.
It's Curtis Dockeray. So people might recognise from Twitter.
I recognise the name from Twitter. It's I've seen it a lot over the years.
Yeah.
It's your real name as well, which does stand out on Twitter because it's not everybody puts their real name on there, do they?
I don't hide behind a false name. I just say it as it is. And
that's it.
A lot of people don't like it most of the time, but I just say what I feel.
But there's a lot of I've got a lot of time for people who. You don't have to agree with people, but at least if people have put their face and to their opinions, that's what always annoys me about. There's somebody I need to give a shout out to, actually. He's called Chris Gooding. He's a big fan of mine. I don't know if he'll be listening, but he's seemingly obsessed with me, and I just want to send him a lot of love. I don't think he knows that I know who he is. He's Chris G on Twitter, but he tweets about me all the time. And I mean, if you want to go out for a date, just ask, okay? There's a lot of love.
You might want to come on here. Yeah.
I mean, look, it's nice to. What was it Oscar Wilde said? The only thing that's worse than being talked about is not being talked about. Nobody's talking about Chris, so I thought I'd mention him. Bless him. Anyway, I've got that off my chest now. Wanker. Curtis, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So here we are.
At let's just time check this. So it's about 20 to 4 on the day of the game. So we've just come out of there.
We've not had a chance to look at the highlights. We've not had a chance to listen to the manager.
No.
None of that. So it's fresh from the cauldron of Boundary Park.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Fan guest.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's your choice.
How are you feeling?
You know what? Disappointed. I think we often puffed throughout the game. I'm just sick of it. That's top and bottom of it. And it comes down to Mellon now. I think tactically it's all wrong. Same with the Waters. I know some people say, I'll give him a chance, don't give him a chance. But look, we're playing a local derby. I know there's just another team that eat crayons for a living, but at the end of the day, it's a big game, big crowd. We shouldn't have started with Waters up front. He's 5 foot in comparison to some of them. We have a new lad on the bench that didn't start. I thought it was crap. That's top and bottom of it. I think, we came on second half, did a little bit better. But it's the negativity. How many long balls do we need to do? Every single ball we seem to do is a long ball. And shout out to Rochdale. I thought they were a good team. And they played some nice football because, believe it or not, they played it along the floor. And when you play it along the floor, you can play some good football. And they did it. I can't recall Rochdale actually playing a long ball. Maybe there might have been a couple in there, but I can't really recall that. Same again, first half, huffing and puffing, trying to do these long throws. It's what he said against Tamworth. Obviously, I went Tamworth as well, and Mickey Mellon came out after the game in his interview and said, they've got a long thrower. So what? Who cares? It didn't pressure us at Tamworth with a long throw. It didn't affect us, so why do we need to keep one on about that? Why can't Ogle, is it Leek as well, who both have a long throw? Why can't they do something different or give it another player? Because every single time you've got Kitchen screaming with his hand up, saying, pass me the ball, their players know what we're going to be doing. It's long ball every time. Everything seems to go down that one channel. Gone are the days where we used to go down the channel with Caprice. What happened to that? Giving that more of a try. And it's the setup for me as well. Like, we're trying to get fancy with either 3-2-1s or 4, something absolutely out of the ordinary. Just go back to 4-4-2. Just try it. Because, and a lot of people disagree, but I'd play Caprice on one side, Jez on the other side. Yeah, Jez isn't the best, we know that. But it'd be good to have pace on both channels. And I think today for me, probably a fair result, 1-1. Rochdale probably edged it overall. I think second half we came back in it. Yanganathan, don't think he meant that, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah, we'll take it, right?
Yeah, the 100%. And I thought the crowd throughout today got behind him as well, and the manager. We did get behind him today. But for me, tactically, which I'm sure we'll going to throughout the podcast, it's not good enough for me. I'm a melon out fan. I've been for a few weeks now. And
At what stage are you a melon out fan? Are you a melon out now?
yeah, whenever the time will come. If the set tonight is gone.
When did you? Because I was trying to look on my phone then about at what point we invited you on. I couldn't find the exact tweet you mentioned, but you have been quite anti-melon for a little while. So what was the tipping point for you?
I think before Christmas we're brilliant. I think we look like probably one of the best teams in the league, if not the best, on par with Barnet, who I don't think Barnet are the best team in the league. I think they have passion, something that we don't have. And you can tell a team like us don't have passion because when we're taking a goal kick, all our players have the back to the goalkeeper. No one's asking for the ball. He's not got them players drilled to have passion. You need to go out there and get stuck in. We're not seeing it week in, week out. I know, obviously, we beat Eastleigh. But all the other tin pot teams that have turned up, we should be turning them over. That squad on paper, I think we can all agree, is it's a promotion side. If you go off individually, I think they're more than good enough to. I thought we were going to win the league before Christmas. I really do.
Yeah, I had a cheeky bet on us at 16
me
to
too.
win it. After in and around the Tranmere game in the cup. I was like, hang on a minute, we might be all right here. But that disruption in January of Norwood getting injured, Conlon getting injured, losing Clucas, losing Stones to York, has completely interrupted us. And he signed an absolute mountain full of. I thought we were going to sign 3 or 4 players in January.
But
I've lost count now. It's probably about 12.
I mean, like
before we
get into the whole sort of like all that again, but like should we just about back to today's game while it's still fresh. I think you're saying a lot of things that my brother says stood next to me, so it's similar. Like having that, and Adam who's on the other side is again he's not particularly happy, and not particularly happy about today's result. But I mean, I tried. So like I tried to give the counterpoints, so definitely. in terms of positivity today, they didn't create that many chances. So their goal was a great finish, and it shows what happens when you have a bit of audacity, where you actually have a bit of belief in yourself. Because a couple of minutes before that, the ball fell to Tom Pett at the edge of the area, and he could have had a shot. First couple of minutes of the game, I think it was actually the first 30 seconds of the game. If he'd have just volleyed it and just had a go and had a shot on target, test the keeper, and he didn't. He took a touch and he tried messing about. And that's the difference for me. I don't think we've got that confidence to just have a pop. And it was a great finish from their lad. But they didn't, for all the sort of threat that they had when they were running forward. And what I do like about Rochdale is the pace that they have and the directness, and they get men ahead of the ball. I mean, how they didn't score when they had 5-on-2, I don't know. Like it was great.
It was great defending.
It was. Yeah. Conlon came back and did really, really well, but they should have scored. Like the odds were stacked in their favour. But I don't think they had a massive amount of chances, despite the threat. And we held a team that are good and that are in good form to a draw. We got a point that I think we deserved. I thought that we were patchy. I thought in the first half we played quite well. I thought you said about Waters. I think Waters' movement's really good. I think he does move well. He's an intelligent footballer, but his first touch isn't good enough, and his finishing.
He may as well have been sat with us though, too, because he played more of a defender. He wasn't up as a striker, and when he was coming back, he was in completely the wrong position. We have a midfield that should be playing in midfield. Waters should not be back with the midfielders tracking back for the ball, because the problem is when we do intercept the ball and get it, what do? We're lumping it against a Fondop, and Fondop then gets a lot of stick because, bloody hell, he's not headed it or whatever, which today he wasn't the best at that. But
there were patches where we did play some football and we did play it through the lines. The chance that he missed, he should have beaten them. He's got to hit the target. Like, that's, come on. Like, but again, like what I'm saying is I thought that there were moments in the game where even players that, you might come away and say didn't have a brilliant game, there was a bit of cohesion at some points. It was just very inconsistent. I thought the second half, we were probably the more dominant side and deserved an equaliser. But I don't know. I'm not too despondent after today, because we know that Rochdale are a good side in good form, score a lot of goals. We've taken 4 points off them in the season, and that's okay. I think going into Halifax on Saturday, we've got to beat them. Like I said at the start of this little run, 7 points, I'll take it. 4 points against Rochdale, 4 points against Halifax, then that's not so bad. But yeah, there are a lot of flaws in the way we play. We are too predictable. We can't put a 90 minutes together, can we, of just really good attacking football and measured football, composure. Like, knocking the ball around. There was a point in the first half where Rochdale were on top, and we just needed somebody to just take control of the game and just let's keep the ball. We kept giving them the ball back all the time because we were doing that lumping, and it was just, can the midfield just take control of the game, calm it down, get some possession, and start building something? But no, lump it up, and so there's this. It is frustrating. It is frustrating. How did you find it? You get up to Boundary Park that often, Landy. What was it? What was your day at the match like?
So I've come up with my two lads today, and we got out of bed at about 5:30 this morning in order to be on the 7 o'clock train from Euston. So it's been a bit of a day.
An early start for a 12:30, isn't it?
Yeah. But I wanted to come up and enjoy the atmosphere and bring them up here, and they've skinned my mum alive for new kits. So the club shop's taking a killing today.
Yeah.
So it was good. I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the day, and enjoying chatting to you guys about the day. My take on the game, and it's interesting, isn't it, to talk about it straight afterwards without any ability to sort of take it in and maybe review it with a bit of footage. So we started off with the classic 3-5-2 that he likes, and then second half, it looked to me like he was trying to go 3-4-3.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's when he made the changes. That's what it was, 3-4-3. Yeah.
But for quite a lot of time, we had a back five. So it's right in front of me, and my season tickets are in the drawer. I'll stand towards the Chaddy end. It was literally a flat back five going on. And so it was difficult to work out exactly, in possession maybe 3-4-3. We didn't really get in that shape very often.
No.
We were more defensive. I thought Rossiter was at fault for their first goal. And I'd love to see it back because I might be wrong, but it looked like Rossiter backed off when he should have gone in, and he gave him the opportunity to shoot, and he needn't have done. I thought, what do I think about Rossiter? You watched him in the week. He had a reasonably good game against Eastleigh. He gets stuck in and he plays it easy, and there's a role for that person in the team. I wasn't overly impressed with him today. I think he didn't do enough of the job he's supposed to do, and he doesn't offer anything beyond what he's supposed to do. So I wasn't overly impressed with him. I thought Kitchen had a pretty poor game, and Jake Leake as well was a bit under par.
There's not enough of our players stamping their authority on the game, is there? I don't think. I mean, like Kitchen's
it comes from the manager. Like I said, it comes down to passion. Like you look at Rochdale, I was jealous of Rochdale today. I wish we had that team today.
They do have some good
players. Maybe today only. I don't know how they've been every other week, but looking at them off what we've seen today, I was jealous of it because what they came with, they had a bit of passion about them. They played as a team. They were talking to each other. They're just heads down. But then you get interviews after games off Mellon. If he's like that after a game on video, what we're watching, how is he with the players in the week? Is he doing that to the players?
He's a bit of a cantankerous Glaswegian, isn't he, in his persona, and that's just the way he is. And I don't think he's ever really changed particularly. He's always been the same. So I'm not going to focus on that too much, so long as he's trying to motivate the players. But I think the players have got to take some responsibility for the lack of passion you talk about. I thought Colin was good.
I'm sure that they and the club and the people in the club would question that there's not I think there's a lack of leadership on the pitch. I think Rossiter was trying to get people going, but they're not the most vocal team, are they? And I think that the teams that win things and they've got a lot of characters in them. And I think they are too quiet. I don't think they get each other going enough. I saw Norwood again was like bollocking Jez at one point, and Jez's head seemed to go down a bit as a result. I don't know.
It's too much bollocking. That's the thing, and not enough togetherness. Give it a clap because we all know Norwood's not the greatest either, because was that a cross or a shot?
I know,
towards
yeah.
the end?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, imagine if that was
Yeah.
another player, like
Yeah.
Fondop. I'm not just saying Fondop, but any player.
Yeah.
If another player did that, it'd be on the back, effing and jeffing
Yeah,
at him,
yeah, yeah.
arms would be everywhere. And I think, and I would argue it against the club about the passion, because I think it is a very, very poor standard of passion. There's no passion around the club, because look at the track of results. We've just had draw, quite a few losses. Half of them teams are bus stops. They're absolutely awful. And the teams, I've never even heard of some of the players in some of them teams that we played. Our team was more than good enough with a bit about us to beat them teams. Like, I can't, I don't know anyone who could say that we couldn't. Our squad's too good compared to some of them.
I've got to be honest. My when I saw the team sheet at an hour before kickoff, my head fell a bit when I saw Fondop and Waters up front.
Mine too.
I'll be honest. Like it's the perennial debate, and Curtis, you can have a pop at me if you like, because I know you from your Twitter feed, you're pro Fondop.
Fondop's number one fan.
Yeah. And that's fine. There are many Latics fans sat around me today who are big Fondop fans as well, and in many ways, how can you not be? Because he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a really lovely man. Right, he's a very wholesome family. He cares about playing for Latics.
Just winding up this big butt that's coming
I'm
in now.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm going to wind up the big butt because I like the man, and I support him, and I cheer him, and I sing his song and all that sort of stuff. But he's just not nowhere near good enough. And today, I think that was Liam Hogan owned him today. Liam Hogan absolutely owned Mike Fondop today. He won every header against nearly every header against Mike Fondop. All of the headers that Mike Fondop won, it didn't go to a Latics player, it went somewhere else. He didn't hold the ball up well enough. He gave the ball away too much. In the fleeting opportunities he had in the first half, he did nothing with them. I imagine he's probably told to stay central as the big number 9 by Mellon. So I'm not going to over criticise, but he doesn't move enough. He's just static in the middle. And so it's just a totem pole for people to aim for. I just don't think he's anywhere near good enough for a side that wants to get out of this league. And this week, did you see? Well, I know you did see because I sent it to you, but I don't know that Curtis saw. But there was the XG stats. People are going to sigh. I'm going to sigh a bit with the whole XG nonsense. But the XG stats on strikers within the National League, and Mike Fondop is top of that list. So his expected goals for the season is 22, but obviously he scored 15. Whereas Ollie Pearce's expected goals are 16, and he scored 19. And what that means is he doesn't score the goals he should.
Yeah, but whereas other teams have got where we just lump the ball. I'm sure if you put Fondop into another team, I think he'd score more than he's scored this season.
Well, possibly, but I think his expected goals are supposed to be greater than that he's delivered. So and for me, he has a role in the side. I think he's my player of the season, Mike Fondop. I'm voting for player of the season. I think he's probably earned the right to a contract negotiation for next season. I'm not against him.
What you're saying is that he's not the leader of the line, the first name on the team sheet, your chosen number 9. He has a role within the squad.
Yeah.
And next season, Norwood's not likely going to be here, is he?
You wouldn't renew it,
Billy
would you?
Waters will be here.
Dom.
Nuttall's not going to be here. Willoughby's not going to be here. Reed's not going to be here. So
Nuttall's not going to be here.
Yeah. So we've got 3 strikers.
Quite a bit of wage to play with as well. Andy, can I just ask you something on the Fondop point? Now, I understand about the goals expected. Absolutely, I hear it. But you've got to think again. Fondop's goals this season. Take them away. Where are we in the league?
I think.
I'd love to find out. I don't think I know. But
Dave Bradley has tweeted us on this. Messaged us on this exact point, and he says that Fondop has delivered. Well, this is his point of view, so I don't know if it's true or not. You can't rely on Dave, can you? 26 points Fondop has delivered this
single-handedly.
Season. In his point of view, single-handedly, 26 points.
Yeah.
And that's why he's player of the season.
Exactly.
Because
so he's good enough
amazing.
Striker because we've got no other options as striker.
Sure, but
because it's Mellon's not signed a striker. He signed 20-odd midfielders and no strikers.
But we're 20 points behind Barnet right?
We'd be 20 points behind the playoffs.
Which I think we all think is unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
So had we had a better striker, then that striker might have delivered 36 points.
Or maybe one
Yeah, but again,
if we played this thing called 2 up front, which we're not really privy to, if we could have had Fondop and this striker that's going to score all the goals, and would have been up there anyway. It's like, how many more things does Fondop have to do? I think he's saved us points from being a centre back as well.
He has.
I don't think the debate is about Fondop. To be honest, Mike Fondop has stepped up and delivered this season. No question about that. He's been asked to do too much this season because we've got loads of strikers on the books, but none that we want to play. That's not anybody's fault other than recruitment, the manager, and all that. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of a hangover from who signed some of those players and things like that, and that can be addressed in the summer. But I think for me as well, the other issue is about the midfield, and I think the way that we play, Rossiter, Pett and Conlon, they're all very similar in stature. They're all very similar in the way they move, and they're not what you would say. They're not pacey. They're not like direct. They all want to take a touch and pass it on. None of them wants to take the responsibility of driving forward and getting beyond the centre forward, which is currently Fondop and Waters. So we've got this situation where the ball goes up to them, and then the midfielders are kind of like following it up. It just doesn't. The blend of players that we've got just doesn't seem to work particularly well as an effective system. And it's all boils down now to the $1 million question of what's going to happen next year. I think that if we don't go up, but we make the playoffs, Mellon's going to get another year. He's going to get another go at it. And I just think that he's going to want to get him, see him out his contract, give him the opportunity, and let him recruit, what would be his full squad of players. And whether people agree with that or disagree with that, whether people want to go and watch it because they, ultimately, it's a big question and it's a big decision. The thing is as well, if we keep reminding ourselves, it's not over yet, and we've not, went up against Rochdale today, who we could get Rochdale in the playoffs potentially.
I think I put a tweet out really early on in the season, really early, and I've said it all season. If we get in the playoffs, we're getting Rochdale in the final. In the final,
we're more likely to play him in the first round.
I think so.
I think they'll be in the playoffs, Rochdale. I think a lot of teams are still going to drop away from the playoffs.
And
we could be one of them if we keep performing. Eastleigh, they didn't look great. I don't know. They was 8th when we played them the other day. Obviously, we got a win there. They was poor Eastleigh. Today, Rochdale looked a better team, and I think there's still a chance for us to slip out the playoffs. We've got some really, really tough games coming up, and if we keep playing arsehole football, lumping the ball around, predictable for wins, we don't time waste like other teams. All these teams
can't afford to time waste when you're losing 1-0.
We're winning 1-0, for instance. We don't piss around like other teams that come here, like where the keepers get a yellow card, which they never get a yellow card.
No.
Sod's law, we probably will get a yellow card if we did it. But my point is, we need to have them tactics. Remember Carl Robinson, MK Dons back in the day, when they just came and played dirty time waste?
Yeah.
We should be about that. We're too honest of a football club.
Yeah.
Too honest about the football. We're honest about everything that we do.
Am I right in saying no Rochdale player got booked today, but we had 2 bookings?
Yeah, that's right.
Mental, that,
yeah.
And didn't they take out Jez at one point? They picked him up and threw him on floor.
I mean, what was that linesman? There was 2 shocking. I mean, when he put this flag up and Jez had the ball, but Jez, he had a chance. He should have shot. The whistle hadn't gone. He waved it on and he just stopped.
There was a point in the second half where I can't remember now who had the shot, where everyone in our stand started cheering the fact we'd had a shot, and then it highlights the point, doesn't it, that no one's having a go.
Yeah,
that it is too backwards and sideways and across the pitch and again, and no one delivers a ball and no one's prepared to take a risk.
And I don't want to get on Billy Waters' back, even though I don't rate him at all. I think he did well at Halifax, and I think the reason he probably did that is because to pass it to his foot. Listen, he's not big enough. We all know that. But my biggest annoyance this season is when we could buy players. Week after week, we kept buying midfielders, getting midfielders on loan, buying whatever we were doing, getting all these midfielders. And then we got Billy Waters as our striker. And it's like, if you've got ambitions to go up out of this football league, he needs someone bigger than Billy Waters. Come on. Someone who's going to get the ball and put it in the net.
The problem with Waters is, yeah.
Sorry for swearing, but it's pissing me off. I've fucking had enough. I've had enough. Every single season I've watched this shite. It doesn't matter which manager we have, which players we have, it's the same.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's not the same, though, is it? It's not the same this season as it was last season and the season before, because we're still, I mean, I don't know what we played today ahead of everybody else, so we're still in fourth, aren't we? But that could change by the end of the day.
And I'm sure it will.
And, you know, but we are like, you know, it is incrementally better.
It is, I admit that.
You know what I mean?
And so before Christmas, I thought we were best in the league.
And so the big quandary and the big thing is, you know, how much and what does it take for us to get back to where we were before Christmas and playing the way?
I can tell you exactly. Get a couple of strikers and have some passion. We'll be fine. We've got enough midfielders. So that begs the question that I see. You were talking before about Mellon and that, and I was thinking really it seems to be more like Brabin at the minute, who's on the line, on the touchline, and obviously he's the one who takes training. Mellon's doesn't. I don't think he's there every day, is he? So because I think he lives up in Scotland, doesn't he? I think still. But before, obviously, when we were winning the games pre-Christmas, he was there every single game, every single training session. But
lives in Scotland,
doesn't he?
Who?
Brabin? Mellon.
I thought he lived near Blackpool.
I don't know.
Surely he's not managing us and coming from Scotland.
He doesn't live in Scotland.
Does he not live in Scotland? Well, why wouldn't you come from Blackpool?
I'm pretty sure he lives near Blackpool.
Right.
I'd rather travel from Blackpool than Scotland every morning. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
You were saying before you have a big commute. You live in Derby, don't you?
At the minute, yeah.
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
So you're up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Brabin's the one who's on the line now. Seems to be doing most of the coaching.
Do you think it's because people
going.
have gotten Mickey Mellon's back on the touchline? Do you think he's a bit pissed off at us?
I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what,
the comment he made the other day on the interview when he went, "We're fourth now, that's not bad, is it?" Now, that really irritated me because it's like, well, maybe not for long we won't be fourth.
But we are fourth, and that isn't too bad. I think what's happened is since Dagenham and Redbridge, we all know what happened to Dagenham and Redbridge. He hasn't acknowledged the away fans, in his post-match interview since then.
He's not come out and clapped them either, has he?
So I mean, well, people said that he's clapped us. I don't know. I haven't been to an away game and stuff.
I actually didn't see.
But yeah, I mean, I think it has pissed him off that people have been having a go at him when we were in the position we're in the league. You know, he's a manager. He's going to get some stick. We've been over what we think that being critical is fine, but there's a line in terms of respect. I think that
we're just starved out.
We are. But we're all starved of success and we're all frustrated. The thing is, this season's not over, and we've played Rochdale, who we might get into the playoffs, and they've not been able to beat us. Altrincham. We didn't lose against Altrincham this season, did we? With the 2 draws.
Drew away, drew at home.
Yeah. Obviously, we've got some of the teams, Halifax next week, so we'll see, And then, obviously, if we finished lower down, we're going to be playing teams a bit further up. And I think if we do fall into the category of having to, Gateshead, we've still not managed to beat, Forest Green, York. If we play any of those 3 teams in the playoffs, I think it could be a real struggle.
We've got to half time. As things stand, out their end, obviously, we'll find out on Monday, but Gateshead are losing at home to Maidenhead. Halifax are 2-0 up at Sutton. Eastleigh 3-0 up at Wealdstone, all in and around us. So
this team
that
scoring
result is doing us a favour, though, as it stands.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But, like, goals is the thing at this stage, isn't it? Like, you see, it's like Halifax, 2 goals, but Rochdale, they've been scoring.
They've got Mitchell, haven't they? They've got who was it that they signed a couple of weeks ago? Who scored today? Bird, is it? Bird.
Yeah,
what
Bird.
A great player he is.
Yeah, is he on loan? I think from somewhere.
Yeah, because I was following. I've got a few friends that are Dale fans. Now I've been asking them about the players, and they've been giving me a bit of banter about Oldham. And they said about Bird, he's really impressed. He's come and took his goal brilliantly today. Yeah. Why can't we get these kind of players? I know we had Clucas and Stones, but we need to get over it. We should have recruited better since them 2 players.
I think it is a worry going into the final stages of the season with the lack of goals. Scored 1 today, scored 2 against Eastleigh, but prior to that, we're really not scoring anywhere near enough goals, are we? And it's a struggle. So as soon as a team gets a goal, like today when Rochdale got ahead, it was a struggle to get a goal.
I think we were lucky scoring that goal as well. I think he didn't mean to. He meant to head it. But I think he was more trying to get it onto someone's head, and he
doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
No, we needed a bit of luck, didn't we? But the problem is that we're not
But that's my point,
fashioning
we're
great
not
challenges.
purposely scoring them goals. That's
We're not taking shots. We're not taking risks. It's 2% play. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. I mean, well, the other bit. If we just sort of direct it back to the day for me for a minute, sort of kind of away from the football for a moment. So I don't come
happily.
Yeah, we've talked about it enough. We'll go around in circles. I don't come to Boundary. I've got season tickets, obviously, but I don't come to Boundary Park every week because I live in London. And so for me, turning up today, go to the fan bar, I kind of see the tweaks they've made, and you got the food stalls outside and the atmosphere and stuff. And it's like incremental improvements and changes being made all the time to the match day experience. It's not perfect, is it? No. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. They need to get that fast pour pint stuff going on that you go, any other sporting event you go to or a gig or something. It's too slow. They could turn over more money, you'd assume. But the club shop's well stocked, and everything around the ground is better. I was chatting to my cousin who's got a season ticket as well, and she was like, it isn't that long ago where the stand was shut, like we talked about Port Vale. The shop was shut. You couldn't get any food or drink. It was all falling apart. It was, we're in a completely different space. And I'm not here every week, obviously, but so I can see the improvements. And then you've got other things going on in the background. I saw the rugby kits in the club shop as well. The rugby are there, and obviously the pitch isn't the greatest condition because of the rugby. I think it's been 60 events on the pitch this year, so that's the way it is. And you've got to remember, Oldham is so much higher than most other grounds, so it's harder to maintain it. But around the ground, there's lots of improvements going on. And then I don't know if anyone's noticed, or it's certainly been picked up by a few fans. You've got Brass Bank Limited, the company that was taken over by the Rothwells, which owns the ground, has been renamed Sports Town. So that's kind of an irrelevance in terms of renaming. But then Oldham Times pushed a story earlier this month where Oldham and Rochdale are going to get some government grants for funding, and there's £5 million set aside for sports development in Oldham, which I believe relates to the footprint of Boundary Park, which relates to Sports Town. And so in the background, there's loads and loads and loads of things going on that's going to improve the site and the football club and the income and everything that comes with it that have already happened. And you sit there and look at it and you're like, okay, we're not playing the football that I want to see on the pitch right now, right? None of us are that happy with the product that we're seeing. But if I just relax a little bit and think to myself, everything's pointing in the right direction, isn't it? And that's kind of my feeling today. You guys might turn up more regularly than I do to Boundary Park, but I'm not that disappointed with where we are. Do you know what I mean? I want us to play better. I'd like us to be closer to points to Barnet. Didn't expect us to win the league, but actually, things are improving, aren't they?
Well, I mean, when you've got, I mean, the question is, when a business or a football club or whatever is mismanaged for a long, long time, and there's a massive lack of investment gone into it, how quickly are you expected to then, people, you can't just throw money at things and turn things around. And there is a finite amount of money available in terms of what the Rothwells have got. So they've got to be bringing in all these other things. It is a long-term project in order for them to create a sustainable and successful football club. I think what you're probably dying to say something about this now, Curtis, but I think one of the things that people are saying is that Mellon hasn't handled the budget and what he's been given well enough. But again, we're still in the playoffs and we've still got a chance of going up. So I don't want to be too critical, because I think we are going in the right direction. And we'll see at the end of the season if any changes need to be made. But I'm not getting really angry with anything or frustrated, because, like you said, things are improving. Things are a lot better now than they have been for decades at the football club. So, yeah, there are improvements that need to be made on the pitch and possibly within the playing staff. But I think that next season will be better than this season. That's the way I'm looking at it. So that's why I'm not too frustrated. Over to you, Curtis.
I agree with both what you're saying. Obviously, Andy, on your point about the off the field, yeah, it's brilliant. It feels like a club. We've had a liquor pen, which it does make a massive difference, even on the steps. It makes you feel a lot better when you're in the ground. Obviously, on your point there, Andy, I just stop over-investing on off-the-field stuff. I'd personally sort the on-field stuff first. You can do little bits around the ground, but it doesn't have to be all singing or dancing going to a football game. If they're playing good football and winning, I couldn't really give a shit how good the pies are or filthy fries or whatever we're doing. We're getting 3 points every week. That's what people are coming to pay for. You can play on Clayton for me. If you're going to get every 3 points, happy days. But I see what you're saying. I think it's brilliant what we've done with the ground. It looks miles better than it ever has. Like I said, little things like even painting and liquor painting the toilets or whatever, it makes a massive difference. As for obviously yours, Matt, saying about in the playoffs, we're still in the playoffs. We are, but look at the league we're in. If this were League 2, League 1, we wouldn't be in the playoffs because we went on that run of lost, draw. You wouldn't get away with that in League 1 or probably League 2. But because we're in the non-league, it's so inconsistent. It's rubbish. Like, you look at Forest Green, they either win last minute every week or they get draws. It's just, and they're expected to be up there. I still think I really want to go up. Like, honestly, I really, really, really want to see Oldham go to Wembley. Or just give me another playoff campaign because I've not seen nothing since I was a little kid in 2006-07. And it kills me with all the miles that we all do. We just want to be shown that a manager's going to come in saying, listen, we're Oldham Athletic. We are still a big club. We're going to play football and put it on the deck. We're going to play quick, moving football, and we're going to score goals. And it shouldn't be a lot to ask for. But instead, we're in shit all over the league with lump balls every single week. Probably we're the worst for it. I see nothing, no return for it. And fans will soon get fed up. I think they're already getting fed up.
I was impressed with today's attendance. What did Rochdale bring? 1,500, was it?
I think that's another thing in the Rochdale Road, and the tannoy doesn't even work, so I didn't even hear the...
No, you can't hear a thing.
You're not hearing that.
Yeah.
I think they've said that they want to get round to fixing all those little things. I mean, the tannoy in the North Stand was perfectly fine, but if they brought 1,500, and what was there today? About 8.5 was there, or something like that? Was there
I don't know. I
8.6?
didn't hear.
I think
it looked full. It looked pretty.
Yeah, it was
about
good
8.6.
attendance. Yeah.
So that's pretty good. So
But then there was 4.5 there on Tuesday night against Eastleigh.
No, because I guess because some people managing the budget are like, well, I'm not going to go to Eastleigh on a Tuesday if I can go to Rochdale on a Saturday.
3 home games on the bounce and stuff.
That sort of stuff. But it gives me hope that there's that there is that interest. If we got to Wembley, I reckon we'd take 20,000 easy.
I think we'd take more. Yeah. I really do think we'd take more.
We took that before, so I think there is that interest there.
I think for me, it's just I want people to just believe and back it and have patience with it because we all want it to be better. We all wanted Mickey Mellon to come in, sign a lot of players, smash the league. Everybody wants that. And if we do change the manager and next season or whatever, or if we stick with it, I just want people to stick with it and keep going and keep supporting the club, keep putting the money into it and not abandon it at this stage because the funds need to come into the club in order for it to get out of this division. And I understand that it's not the most entertaining, and I think there is a responsibility to winning football is entertaining football. We're happy. If only we can clap them off with 3 points and we've won the game, then great. But it's a hard watch, and I can't imagine that if I had to pay on the gate every week, that I'd necessarily want to be coming and paying it for the product that we've had at Boundary Park this year. Still only one win this at home in 2025, and we're middle of March.
I'd be
so I do see both points of it, but I want like it's kind of that bigger picture thing. I just want people to sort of stick with it, and that's why I get frustrated when people are starting to scream at the manager and getting really and having to go at people running the club because things aren't. We are so much better off than we were.
Where do you stand on the criticism that Darren Royal's been attracting from some quarters?
From what's the question, sorry?
So where do you stand on? So Darren Royal's been getting a bit of attention from certain parts of the fan base for underperforming, in their opinion. What's your view of him?
I think as fans, we don't know exactly his role. So does he make the decisions on the transfers? Because if that's the case, then at the end of the day, he's just as much to blame to a degree, but there's only so much Darren can say yes to. Mickey Millen's clearly going to go to Darren saying, I've got XYZ player, I want to sign this player. Can I have him?
Yeah, well, it's for me that boils down to the same perfectly, credible answer, and people focus on that, the football side of it, don't they? That's where Darren attracts the criticism on the football side of it. But we've repeated a few times, it's Mickey Mellen's coaching staff that are making decisions on recruitment. Darren might sign it off, and he might have brought the stats products in which inform it. But I judge Darren's the chief executive officer of the football club. So I judge him on what was my match day experience like? What is the investment in the ground like? What is the income that's coming in outside of football as well as football like? What are the future plans for the development of the site and income and everything else, as well as the football operations? And when I look at it as a whole, I think to myself, seems to be doing a pretty good job. I mean, he's got the backing of the Rothwell family, so he's in a good position to be able to do all of that, admittedly. But I just don't see that he's in the firing line for me.
I think it's some of the language and stuff as well. Like when we say things like, you just said about to blame. I mean, like, who's to blame for us being fourth in the league? I think from their point of view, I think from the manager's point of view and from the club's point of view, it's like, well, we're kind of on track to where we thought we were going to be. And you and I, Andy, both.
We're probably a few points. Like you said last week, and it was right, the gap between us and the top is too big.
Yeah.
I thought we'd be fourth.
But it'd be a bit
10
tighter.
Points behind first.
Yeah.
We're fourth and 20 odd points.
We keep
behind
saying
first.
that with fourth, and like it's a good thing though. But when you think about it, if we didn't, because we were one of the best teams in the league before Christmas, like I said earlier, because we won that many games before Christmas, it was pretty much every week at one point. We've got that many points now. That was our safety net. If the season started on Boxing Day, New Year's Day, I can guarantee you now we'd be 14th, 15th.
But this is the thing
that.
with it, isn't it?
We're doing it by luck, and because we're not showing that we're good football inside at the minute.
But
none of the football's been
the thing
good.
is, a season is judged over a season. The best team wins the league, and the best other 6 teams finish in the playoffs over the season. And for whatever reason, like we've had good dips in ups and downs in terms of our form, but at the end of the day, we need to be judged at the end of the season. And I think if we make the playoffs and we do ourselves credit in the playoffs, then it's been a decent season overall, even though it's been not inspiring in places. If we drop out of the playoffs, I think most people will expect the managers to go.
I don't think season ticket sales won't be too good either.
No.
I think if we drop out of the playoffs,
no. Well, I think that'll depend on who they bring in then, because I think if we dropped out the playoffs, I think he would go.
So I think if we went up to League 2 regardless, we'll sell more season tickets, even if he stays, because we're finally out of this terrible league.
We just have to look. It's hard work, isn't it, talking about it every week.
I tell you what else is hard work. Someone doing Laticsmind for the first time. That's hard work, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, especially in this setup, because I don't know how we're going to do it.
I don't know.
Dreading it.
Yeah.
Absolutely dreading it.
Okay. Right. Well, let's play Laticsmind.
What colour was Latics away kit in 2007-2008?
Black.
It was orange, or it was tangerine, is the actual colour. Which tough tackling French midfielder had a short loan spell with Latics after leaving Southend in 2010? Tricky one, this.
Pass.
Who scored on his Latics debut versus Port Vale on the opening day of 2000-2001?
No idea. I'm going to guess Luke Beckett, he weren't even there, I don't think.
It was Carlo Corazin. Who was Latics' front of shirt sponsor between 2003 and 2005? So your first season, Curtis.
Was it Slumberland?
It was Horner's Motor Group.
Oh, man.
Latics spent 21 seasons in League One. What was Latics' highest finish in that time?
Seventh.
It was fifth in 02-03 under Dowie. Which former and retired Latics midfielder re-registered as a player for the club in the summer of 2003?
Pass.
Between 2012 and 2014, 3 consecutive games between Sheffield United and Latics at Bramall Lane finished in the same scoreline. What was it?
1-1.
Correct. Which goalkeeper did Latics sign in the summer of 2024?
Hudson.
It was Scott Maloney. Which former French Kilmarnock striker had a brief spell with Latics in 2014? Pass. And that is time up. So let's go back. I think you got 1 correct.
I'm happy with that.
All right,
I'll
happy with
take
that.
it.
You're off the
Better than nil, innit?
Happy days.
Let's go with the 3 passes. So, which tough tackling French midfielder had a short spell with Latics after leaving Southend in 2010? I mean, only Paddy Harwood will get this.
I've
You got any idea?
no idea.
Right, he was called Jean-Francois Christophe.
Oh, yeah.
Remember him?
Nope.
Me neither. Which former and retired Latics midfielder re-registered as a player for the club in the summer of 2003?
Was it Airsey?
It was Sheridan.
Oh.
Scored a penalty at Sheff Wednesday away, didn't he?
Oh, right, yeah. I was at that game.
I wanted to say Ersey as well, but then I thought,
No. Which former French Kilmarnock striker had a brief spell with Latics in 2014?
No idea.
Well, I do remember a signing this player. Willie Gross.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the
I do
name.
remember the name, yeah. Your Willie's gross.
Exactly.
Wow.
1. Nice one, Curtis.
I'm kicking myself about the away kit, to be fair, because that season in the playoffs, I remember the black and then the orange the season after, but I got them back to front.
Yeah.
7-8
So-
was Tangerine.
But I'd say 100%, I'll say it 1.
I didn't get many there. I got Horners. Because that's when we had that horrible
Shez in
yellow.
2003 should have been a gimme.
Should have been, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it wasn't.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, so there we go.
It's been enjoyable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all right,
It's
isn't
a
it? I mean,
shame we can't do this every week to a degree.
it'd be
innit?
nice, yeah. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if Eddie was here. Eddie does the video. We could have multiple camera angles and all that. So, but yeah, we're just kind of winging it a little bit today. But yeah, it's all
Everyone
right.
just enjoy a side view of me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. We've just got one angle, but we can. Yeah. I'll try and put it out as a video, I think, as well.
Are you going to do that? Are you?
I will if I can be bothered.
2 gingers.
Yeah.
It's never good in the light. You know? This is doing me no fair. For everyone listening, I've got some massive beaming light above me. It's doing me no fair.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Anyway, the main thing is we've recorded the podcast now. We managed to figure out how to do Laticsmind, and
I'm gonna check the scores as we come towards full time and
Gates,
in our league.
have we slid
have we
down the
maintained
table? Yeah.
4th place or not? Let's have a little look. So Forest Green are beating Southend 2-1. Maidenhead are still winning, according to my information.
As it stands, though, regardless of the Gateshead are losing as it stands. Halifax are still behind us, but it's only a point, and they've got 2 games in hand.
Oh, Forest Green 2, Southend 2. Halifax are 3-0 up. Eastleigh 3-1 up at Wealdstone. Barnet are winning. York are winning, and Ollie Pearce has scored against his XG stats.
So we're still in it. You've got to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
Just.
Do you think we're so Rochdale are 7th, 56 points. We are 7 points ahead of them. They've got 4 games in hand.
They won't win all those games in hand. I mean, look, their points per game will tell you they won't win all those games in hand. So they'll drop points during that, but they could get very close or slightly in front of us. But they won't win all 4 games, will they?
They've just won 4 in a row up until today.
Yeah, but but they haven't done that all season, have they? So they're not going to do that again.
So Curtis, given that Mickey Mellon's going nowhere,
Yeah.
he's not going anywhere before the end of the
No,
season. Some people think that is correct. Some people think that that's incorrect, and that's fine because everyone has a different opinion. Do you think that we will stay in the top 7? And do you think that we've got any chance in the playoffs? If we do,
If we get to the playoffs, I think, and we got to Wembley, we'd win at Wembley. I really do. I want it as much as every single person, and I can see it happening, but it's going to be that. I am really worried. I'm so worried between now and end of the season. For the fixtures we've got coming up, the lack of attack-minded players. It's sideways, backwards. I don't know. I really don't know.
If we go up, I'm getting on the boo bus and I'm going back to Oldham on it.
Okay, I just got this vision of the way people pile onto trains in India. Just like people sitting on top of it as it crawls back up the M6.
Yeah. That'd be me.
Listen, I've been to every single season. A lot of my friends would tell you, I have stupid bets with my friends every season. Oldham's going up. They're sick of hearing me saying it. So I'm being realistic for once. This is the first time in my life I've been realistic. I'm just not sure anymore if we are going to make it. Apart from that, I had us winning the league at Christmas. So,
but there's us, there's Rochdale, Gateshead, Halifax, York, Forest Green. None of us knows. There's only going to be one team that makes it, and there'll be teams. It could well be that teams that have had a better season than us, got more points, got more wins, don't make it up. It's a bitch of a league, this National League, and hopefully the 3 up, 3 down comes in for the sake of everybody who ever gets into the National League, because it's just an horrendous league to get out of. I think that my view is that I don't know if we're going to go up this season because I haven't got a magic ball. I hope we do. But I feel that whatever happens, we'll be in a better position again next season. We'll sign better players and we'll have another go. And that's all. That's what happened. Football is it's a perennial thing. We keep going. It's every year. And, as long as the club that you support is going in the right direction, then you've got to be happy. And our club has been going in the wrong direction for years and years and years. And finally, it's going in the right direction. And I'm happy about that. I would like it to speed up. And I would like this season to be Wembley. And I'd love to see us win at Wembley. And God knows we deserve it. As a fan base, we deserve it. We really, really do. But we are just as much at the whim of the football gods as anybody else. Curtis, thanks very much for joining us.
I've enjoyed it.
It's been nice to have you here. Andy, it's been nice to, sit next to you.
It's good, isn't it?
And do it in, if you feel free to drive up to Oldham every week to record the podcast if you like.
Yeah. I'm sure the wife would.
You're building your London studio anyway, aren't you?
Yeah. We'll have one outside in the garden before we know it.
Lovely. You can't even think about doing anything outside in Oldham, but you've got your own outdoor studio. God, you don't know you're born down there, do you? Thanks for listening, and we'll see you for the phone-in on Thursday.